yote ile kitu. Sisi ni taxpayers, tunataka huduma, si namna hiyo.
Joel Chacha, K24 TV, Nairobi.
And as the 2027 presidential battle takes shape, President William Ruto is every day making political moves that appear to catch his opponents unaware. From reaching out to his political rival in the last elections, Raila Odinga, to now reaching out to former President Uhuru Kenyatta, President William Ruto political chess appears to leave Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka with little maneuvers, as is now keen to reap on areas that Kalonzo expected to have a solid backing. Martin Opio explains the political tectonic shifts.
When the 2027 succession gained momentum, a tussle ensued in the Azimio coalition as Kalonzo maintained that he would not back Odinga for the third time, leading to a standoff. Kalonzo later agreed to support Odinga in a declaration made at the Jacaranda grounds, with hopes that his unwavering support would be repaid in 2027 with Odinga backing his bid.
Tutaendelea na muundo wa Azimio One Kenya na candidate wetu ni Raila Amolo Odinga.
Kalonzo's prospect to inherit Odinga's vote-rich political backyard dwindled after Odinga appeared to reach out to President Ruto for a political settlement, with some Odinga allies joining government as he campaigns his way to the African Union chairmanship. Kalonzo is yet to lead his foray into the backyard of Odinga, with the president keen to make inroads in light of his engagement with Raila Odinga.
Nilisimama hapa Kondele, nikasema siku moja nilisaidia Agwambo, na safari hii yeye amerudisha mkono, amenisaidia mimi.
Several legislators allied to Odinga have already made it clear that they are ready to back Ruto for a second term after giving the opposition slots within his cabinet, despite the party's assertions that it has not entered into any coalition with the Kenya Kwanza government.
Pia nikuambie tu kitu kimoja, ushikane na baba na viongozi wengine, ufanye kazi yako ya kikatiba ya kuunganisha Kenya.
Na mwisho, Mheshimiwa Rais, sisi tumeamua kusafiri na wewe. Tumeamua kutembea na wewe bega kwa bega.
Lakini saa hii kuna watu ODM wako ndani ya serikali ambayo wameresign. Sasa saa hii hata ukisema kuna kasoro tutakubali.
Kwa maendeleo, kwa siasa tuko na wewe na tutakusupport. Uko na waziri wetu Joho, uko na Wandai, sisi kama ODM tunakusupport na tutakuwa hapo 2027 nyuma yako. Mungu akubariki.
Is that the government is only bad if you are not part of it. If you are outside, you don't have anybody who is representing your interest in that government does not talk to you, that government is bad. But the moment that government has your people inside, the way Mbadi is inside and Raymond Omolo and my brother Piawandai, the government cannot be bad. The government now is good. Now the government is good.
The entry of Uhuru Kenyatta's allies joining the government after President Ruto met his predecessor further complicates Kalonzo's political matrix. Uhuru Kenyatta is still Azimio coalition chairperson and has been close to Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka. Just recently, the Wiper leader invited the retired president to his daughter's wedding. Uhuru brokered the deal that ended the Azimio coalition presidential deadlock, and Kalonzo is hoping that he would give him a backing in 2027. The re-entry of Kamba into Gema was hoped to solidify the same.
As we celebrate this unity, we promise that the Kamba will fully and effectively be integrated, and they have been integrated in all the governance levels and organs, starting from branches to the national level.
Whereas Uhuru Kenyatta's Jubilee Party Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni asserts that no discussion was held in regards to the 2027 elections, the preceding events point to a different case. A few days after the meeting, the president went ahead to appoint several leaders who served under the Jubilee administration. This included former Health CS Mutahi Kagwe, who featured prominently in the race to replace Rigathi Gachagua when he was impeached. It remains unclear as to whether Kenyatta will back Kalonzo on his bid or attempt to give direction to the Mount Kenya region.
You are free even to change the name. Hata mkisema change the name Wiper, iwe Ngema, I'll be ready for it. Unaniambia? Then you take over. Kuna mkamba tena.
For Kalonzo, Gachagua appears to be the next solid option as he seeks to ascend to the house on the hill. Both of them have expressed interest in regards to working together, but Gachagua wants Kalonzo to rally at least 4 million votes before they can work on the prospects of working together.
Naongea na kiongozi Kalonzo, mimi na viongozi tunaongea. Na tutapanga vizuri. Na Wakenya wengine, kina Eugene Wamalwa, wengine kila pahali huko Masaini. We are talking as Kenyans.
Both Kalonzo and Gachagua have been pushing themselves as the new opposition following concerns that ODM was in government. Kalonzo, in a bid to stay afloat with his presidential ambition, has demanded that Odinga states his position as to whether his party was still in opposition or within the government.
Tukianza Januari pia ni lazima tuamue tuwe na muungano mpya wa kupeleka watu nyumbani. Wangapi wanakubali hiyo?
Ati wengine wanasema hawa ni opposition. Opposition ni sisi. Ati saa hii mimi ambaye nimefanya kazi ya opposition miaka nenda miaka rudi, unataka nifate ati opposition ambaye inaongozwa na Rigathi Gachagua? Ati sasa yeye opposition leader hapa Kenya? Rigathi anaweza kuwa opposition leader hapa Kenya? Mtu juzi alikuwa anapiga sisi tear gas, akaenda kakula kondoo ya Kenyatta huko kwa shamba yake. Ati huyu sasa opposition leader anatembea ndani ya town ati Unita fate, mimi siwezi kufuata Rigathi Gachagua.
The other voting bloc that has been touted to determine the 2027 election is lining up its own, and several candidates have already expressed interest. The Gen Zs are among others pushing for Senator Okiya Omtata to further shrink Kalonzo Musyoka's options. Martin Opio, K24 TV, Nairobi.
Well, and away from politics, security has been heightened along Kenya's coastal region as revelers continue to flock in for the December holiday season. Hotels are ripping big, with a record 90% booking rate reported as the region bustles with activities ahead of Christmas and New Year celebrations.
The newly appointed Interior Cabinet Secretary Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen has assured the country of safety during the festive season.
As a ministry, I want to ensure the people of Kenya that their security is guaranteed, that their safety is guaranteed, even as they go about their business of holiday. I want to appreciate them for what they do, but also assure them that our security team from all armed forces, they have done the very best to ensure that their safety is guaranteed.
The Interior CS has blamed the current traffic snarl-up on Nairobi-Nakuru Highway on the reckless behavior of Kenyan drivers.
Part of the reasons why we have terrible traffic jams in our highway is not just because there are more vehicles, it's also because people are driving irresponsibly and overlapping on our roads. I want to ask Kenyans to make sure that they abide by the law and they obey the law.
At the coast, preparation for the highly anticipated festive season are in full swing. Crowds have already begun gathering at popular beaches, indulging in local delicacies and embracing the festive cheer.
We shall be having our police officers patrolling the beaches in undercover.
Speaking during a beach environmental management exercise at Nyali Beach, Mombasa, Mombasa County Commissioner Peter Kimani assured the public that a multi-agent security team will patrol the beaches with emergency response centers already set up to handle any incidents.
We shall be having a help desk where they will be able to report, and even those children who are found lost, they will have a place where we can keep the children and reunite them with their guardians.
Kenya Wildlife Service KWS Assistant Director for the Coastal Region Aden Kala, on his part, called for protection of marine ecosystems, cautioning against activities that harm the environment.
This is a marine area which is a plastic-free area. We urge them and we urge our public, please, to be very responsible, not to come with plastic, especially the single plastic use here at the coast or at the marine beaches.
Stakeholders present at the event champion for the protection of the blue economy and the fight against climate change.
We encourage that we also incorporate those young children to know the importance of environmental conservation.
Maswala ya climate ni pia ni maswala ya human rights. Kwa hivyo tujaribu tuzingatie mazingira yetu.
Boniface Msangi, K24, Mombasa.
Kenyans are being encouraged to watch their diet and adopt a healthy lifestyle this festive season to avoid potential health risks. Studies reveal that this time of the year often sees overeating and excessive alcohol consumption. Habits, experts warn, can have serious consequences. Maintaining a balanced diet and staying active is key, as Eunice Omolo reports.
'Tis the season to be jolly, to feast and celebrate.
Mimi nafurahia kwanza hii festive season kwa sababu inaenda kutukutanisha na familia zetu.
But are you overdoing it?
Yani vijana wengi wanaona kwamba wakipata pombe na wakikunywa pombe they feel that we have already spent nice.
Kwanza kama vijana ndio wanajua ni wakati ya pombe. Yeah, pombe kabisa. Nao wengine sasa ndio wanapenda kuwa na familia yao.
Studies show that during the festive season, people tend to consume a lot of food and drink excessive amount of alcohol.
Mimi kama December mimi ndo nakulanga nyama sana December. Unaona? So mimi December ndo nairank kama festive season, lakini mimi napenda December juu excuse. Yaani unaweza lewa, unaweza kula, ukikula utaona ni mlafi, ukilewa utaona ni mlevi. Ni kufight depression. Unaona?
On the healthy eating practices, and they feed on any foods that they can come across without minding, because at the back of our mind we know we are supposed to be celebrating.
Nutritionists warn that such habits can lead to weight gain and increase the risk of non-communicable diseases such as diabetes and hypertension.
Most of us eat foods which have a lot of fat, a lot of oils, deep fat fried foods. We take big portions of the foods, and we eat many times without caring. So at the end of it all, we find that we gain a lot of weight. After the season is over is when we realize we have gained quite a lot of weight. And when there is weight gain, that means you become either overweight or obese, and you have health implications.
The month dubbed as Drinksember in Kenya is characterized by jugs filled to the brim, glasses of booze and endless toasts.
Sisi kama Gen Z tumeweka pombe kwa sababu tunataka tutukue hai hivyo tu.
The season is associated with heavy drinking, but experts urge people to consume alcohol in moderation.
When you overindulge in drinking alcohol, especially because most of the time it's alcohol, we inhibit absorption of some of the vital nutrients in our bodies. And also when you indulge, we gain a lot of weight also, because alcohol gives a lot of appetite. So you are likely to eat a lot of food per sitting, which is of course going to be in excess. Not all those calories can be used by the body, and what is not used is stored as fat. And also we find that because of alcohol, it predisposes someone to some of the lifestyle diseases as well.
According to the World Health Organization, alcohol consumption in Kenya causes 14,000 deaths annually, with half of drinkers aged between 13 to 19 consuming up to 6 bottles in one sitting.
Lazima tujikimu na tujiangalie na tuangazie ile fikra yetu ya leo kupiga sherehe tuibadilishe iwe positively, tusherehekee bila kutumia madawa kulevya.
During these festive seasons, individuals can consume up to 6,000 calories per day. This is 3 times higher than the normal recommended caloric intake. Picture that, and minimal physical activities, definitely not a healthy cocktail for the body. Eunice Omolo, K24 TV.
Well, with that report from Eunice Omolo, we take our first break here at K24 Evening Edition. We have more stories for you after this break. Stay tuned.
Hello there, good peoples. My name is Alan Owino. I'm a senior news anchor at K24 TV and a political talk show host. We've had a tremendous 2024 as we head into this festive season. All I'm wishing every single one of you is a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, and of course, Happy New Year. Stay safe, be good. We need you as our fans come 2025.
Mozart Casino Jackpot. Zungusha gurudumu la furaha. Kuwa mshindi. Mozart Bet.
Let's get this party started! Hey kids, light up your festive season with StarTimes. Renew your subscription for 2 months and get upgraded to the next high bouquet for 2 months to spend more time hanging out with all your favorite cartoon friends on our amazing kiddie channel.
Pretty incredible, right?
Enjoy more adventure, more action, and more fun on Baby TV, CBeebies, Jim Jam, ST Kids, ST Tunes, Toonami, Cartoon, and Boing. Renew your subscription today and get upgraded to Jingle with the Stars.
And I like it that way.
Download the StarTimes On app to enjoy all your favorite kids shows on the go. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
Yo, they call me Tony Mwirigi aka the celebrities host. Kama ni tamu na lamba na kama ni chungu na tema. Nikisema mama, unasema zazi. Allow me to take this opportunity to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year 2025. Remember on this festive season, when you enjoy, remember to remember. Remember to remember the less fortunate. And also, we are in a season for a reason. We create memories. Lakini pia, kama uko na kangu extra, patia mtu mwingine ambaye hajajaliwa kidogo, si ndio? Alafu kumbuka, sharing is caring. Mimi hapa huwa kidogo tunafanya ile mambo kila siku ya Monday to Friday on Interactive, lakini pia Arena usiku saa 2. Na sasa on behalf of Interactive na Arena, allow me to sing for you one song ya kukuishi wewe a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Remember, ukikula nyama unanyamaza.
Odibet's Pepea na Mbuzi is here. Wekelea cash bet on these select crash games. Upepe na Mbuzi ya Christmas. Odibet's, bet extraordinary.
Welcome back. And after serving 2 terms as the chairperson of the Council of Governors, Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru reflects on the journey of devolution in Kenya. Despite the challenges of rampant corruption and fund mismanagement, Waiguru believes that devolution units are on the right path. She urges Kenyans not to solely blame counties for corruption, arguing that it is a national issue. Waiguru also highlights the late disbursement of funds as a major hurdle for county governments. Brian Amwai sat down with the governor to discuss her reflections as COG chair and her plans after Kirinyaga.
She served as the first cabinet secretary in the Ministry of Devolution, resigned in search of lighter duties, vied for the governorship of Kirinyaga County and won, and is currently serving her 2nd term. She has been the chair of the Council of Governors for 2 terms. Anne Waiguru sits down with me to take stock of the state of devolution, her future political ambitions, and her take on national politics.
All right, I want us to start with the issue to do with devolution. It has been 11 years since devolution. You've served as governor for 2 terms right now. Are we on the right trajectory when it comes to devolution in the country?
Thank you, Brian, for this opportunity for the interview at the end of the year. Now, are we on the right trajectory? I think we've made strides. I think having 12 years since we started devolution, I think we've made progress. Is it where we were hoping to be? No. I think there's still a lot that needs to be done or should have been done by now. But generally we can say that from the framers of the Constitution that we are in the right trajectory. We are growing. Devolution has continued to address challenges that had been seen there before, which is the access to service delivery. The decision why Kenyans decided to change their constitution and ensure that we have devolution and they have devolved functions is because they had perceived that services were very far from Wananchi. And I think as far as I'm concerned that we have made strides to ensure that services are closer to the people.
Have we devolved corruption? as far as we are on the right trajectory, there's still cases of corruption in the counties?
I think that's a cliche that's constantly used in the media. But I would say that challenges of bad governance are in every sphere of our society. They're in private sector, they're in civil society, to some extent even some institutions of higher learning in the national government, and it's not unique to counties. The reason those institutions exist is that they're supposed to do their work to ensure that we are advocating and advancing good governance. And where there are challenges of corruption in specific institutions, be they be at national level, private sector or county governments, they ought to be addressed by the relevant institutions. So no, I don't necessarily think that that issue is a valid issue and unique only to devolved functions.
So let's talk about 12 years we've come in, but there's still challenges that are facing devolved units. What would you say that is?
The biggest, I think, challenge that affects devolved units is the issue of resources, timely disbursement of resources. Budgets are allocated, the equitable shares are allocated, but it never comes as expected. The Constitution and the law says that resources for every month should have arrived by around the 15th of the next month. So if, for example, resources for July should actually be there by August, but you find sometimes we have time lapses of up to 3 months. That has been a major challenge, because what does that do? It causes disruptions of public service. Devolved functions such as healthcare, you get delayed salaries for medical workers. Agricultural extension officers are not paid on time. We cannot therefore buy drugs on time, and sometimes you'll find shortages of drugs in our hospitals. So one of our biggest challenge has been the issue of timely disbursement of resources. Okay. The second issue is also the adequacy of those resources. If you looked at the resources that we had hoped to get when we look at the functions that have been devolved, we were starting at about 425 billion. And after negotiations, we came down to 400 billion. But because of the challenges that are there currently at the national level, we've ended up with a little less than 390. So that will also affect the quality of service delivery. We are supposed to, for example, give salary increments annually, and that will be a challenge. If you look across the board, you will notice that the country has changed for the better. Many towns and small municipalities that were on their deathbed have woken up. There is a vibrant economy across the country driven by devolution. There is growth in these towns. There is increased productivity in terms of both the output from our people who are maybe farmers or fishermen, and also productivity even within the public sector. So overall, I would say that devolution is doing well and is on the right trajectory.
As far as these challenges are concerned, are these things that you feel like we can actually get to address them and get away from that, so that we actually, it gets to serve the purpose that it was actually intended for?
The fact that there are challenges, it doesn't mean that we are not serving the purpose. And there is no time in society you won't have challenges. You have challenges everywhere. You have challenges even in our own homes. It doesn't mean that the family doesn't function because you have challenges. The fact that devolution is facing challenges doesn't mean it doesn't function. It could function better. And the reason why we elect leaders every 5 years, the reason that we have continuously advocating for improved service delivery is because constantly in society things are changing. We're not in a static society. Society is dynamic. And as we progress, as we move, as we grow, challenges will come, and the responsibility of those who are in public service and in leadership is to adjust to the changing dynamics of our society and ensure that we address the challenges that come our way.
All right, when you took over as the chair for the COG, initially the counties were getting 370. By the time you're leaving office, we had gotten to 385, apart from the 2 billion that we actually added recently. Now it's 387. What would you attribute this to, and what was your initial projection by the time you are leaving this particular post, that you had actually said, by the time I'm leaving, I want us to have this particular location?
Actually, the issue is not so much about a specific figure, because that figure is actually determined by the services that you need to offer. And just like in the national government, you would say that these are the projects that we want to do, and this is what it would cost. And so when the resources come, you allocate according to priorities. And so we are at 387. It is not ideal, but we have to work with that. We hope that in the next year, the economy improving, revenue that is collected nationally increases, and therefore allocation to county governments also increase. In the last summit meeting that we had with His Excellency the President, the national government has now facilitated through IGTRC the gazettement of all the devolved functions. We hope that those will come with the attendant resources, and if that happens, then we hope to see improved service delivery. I hope that in the next year we will hit the 400 billion mark for across the counties, so that counties can be able to deliver services as expected by Kenyan people.
Let's talk about revenue collection, especially on-source revenue when it comes to matters county governments. I was speaking to some stakeholders, and they said the counties have a possibility and even potential to be able to collect close to 800 and something billion shillings. I don't know from where you sit and what you've been able to experience, if that is actually the case, and why are we not there?
The same challenges that face the national government. You know, one of our biggest challenges right now is the risk with increasing in taxation. Yes, if somebody makes an analysis, they will say you can collect this much money, but do the people want to be taxed to that extent? That is a question, because where would you be collecting those taxes from? You would have to collect them from people. And already as they are, people are saying that we are overtaxed. So even as county governments, we have to be cognizant of that fact. So where you would increase your tax revenue, even in Kirinyaga, there are certain places we end up reducing because the public is saying that this is a bit too much for us to bear. So analysts can sit down and say you can collect up to this much. But that is determined by very many factors. It is determined by our level of economic growth as a country. It is determined by the level of incomes. People like us who come from mostly agrarian societies and focus mostly on agriculture, it will be determined by many things. If you want to tax in the agricultural sector, it will be dependent even on how the weather was that year and the level of productivity that has been actualized in that county. So you would have to adjust levels of taxations based on our current realities. Yes, the ideal would be to collect up to whatever is estimated as 800, but whether that's a reality that you can achieve in 1 year or in a short time, no, but you keep striving to get as much as possible within the current economic situation in the country.
Okay, let's touch a little bit on the health sector. It has been, right now we were actually looking, before it was actually called off, the possibility of a strike, and KMPDU had actually suggested that, the health, which is a devolved function, should actually be taken back to the national government. What do you say to this?
I think I've said this before, even when I was chair. There is a reason we pass constitutions, and the constitution is very clear that health is a devolved function. And so it has to remain as a devolved function up until the time you change that constitution. So they may not, for one reason or other, be happy with one thing or other in the health sector. But as far as I'm concerned, the Constitution is clear that the health function is devolved, and the health function will remain devolved for as long as we have the current Constitution.
Let me touch on the state of the county that you actually lead. You're coming to an end in the, this is you're serving your second term, and when you get to 2027, that will be done for you. What would you say has been the state of Kirinyaga County ever since you took office and right now that you're actually exiting?
In Kirinyaga County, we say the work speaks for itself. When I ran for re-election, I ran with the slogan Kazi Yonge, as in Wira Wadye. And if you ask the Kirinyaga people, if you look at the ratings of my performance, way above 80% tells you that they feel that Kirinyaga has performed and we have done what it is that we promised our people, which is actually the most important thing when it comes to leadership and elected leadership. What is it that you promised that you will do, and have you done it? If you look at the state of the Kirinyaga County right now, when I came in and now, there's a huge difference.
Now, I want to wind up, but I can't fail to ask you this, because you are a politician and we are in a very political, heated kind of moment, season at the moment. Even before we get to 2027, right now, you look at the political scene, it feels like we're actually campaigning for elections in 2027. Yesterday, we had reshuffles when it comes to the cabinet, at some extent trying to balance different regions based on what has been happening in the recent days. What would you say this is when you look at it, especially with the latest additions to the cabinet?
Let me say that the president has the prerogative to organize his cabinet to best serve the people of Kenya. And he has an bird's view of what the country looks like. He knows where his cabinet has been performing and where it hasn't been. And I think he has made that informed decision because he knew that he needed to strengthen the areas where he has had Kenyans complaining about. And I think it's a good thing that he has made the strategic decisions that he has. Even at my level, at governor level in Kirinyaga County, I make changes from time to time. I reshuffle my ministers to offer better service delivery. Sometimes you think that if you appoint a certain individual, they will do to a certain expectations, and after time you realize that they either are incapacitated one way or another, and you have to make the changes that you need to make so that you can continue to offer the services that you promise people and to deliver on your promises. So I think the president did that in good faith, and I am very hopeful that things will improve for the better.
Okay, we hope so too. Governor Anne Waiguru, what's next for Governor Anne Waiguru? Because in most cases we've seen leaders, somebody was a governor, then after their term elapses, they return to vie for the senatorial seat. We've seen others being going for the different posts as far as cabinet is concerned. You've been fronted by different leaders across the country, and also during the G7, that you should actually eye something higher. So in 2027, after Kirinyaga, what's next for you?
Let me say that it's a bit early to talk about 2027 in that way. It's 3 years from now. Right now, no, I am not campaigning personally. I'm focused on service delivery. I am working very hard for Kirinyaga people. My work speaks for itself. In Kirinyaga, we are saying Kazi Yonge, Wira Wadye. And when the time of election comes, thereabout around 2026, that decision will be made based on the circumstances that will have prevailed then. 2 years is a very long time. Many things will change. You can see already in 6 months things are changing. So the only thing I can assure the people of Kenya, first of all, because of the honor bestowed on me by the Kirinyaga people, but Kenyans at large, because I served also as chair of COG, is that I will continue to serve the Kenyan people in the best way that I can. And when the time comes, then we will say what that is.
You are somebody that says most of the time you listen to the ground, especially when you are heading to the 2022 elections. What is the ground saying right now?
The ground is saying that we need to deliver. Okay. Yeah, that is what the ground is saying. The ground is saying less noise, less politics, and work. Okay. They want all the promises that we made whether at county level or at national level, they want the promises met. If we said that we're building roads, they want to see the roads. If we said that we're going to improve the economy, they want to see an improved economy. That is what the ground is saying right now.
Your message to the people of Kenya and the people of Kirinyaga as we celebrate Christmas and also the New Year 2025, what should they be looking forward to?
My message to everybody is here we are at the end of 2024. We thank God for having given us the opportunity to be alive and to be part of this country. And I want to wish the people of Kenya and the people of Kirinyaga in particular a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and ask them to be hopeful. We must look forward with hope.